In the last episode, the demons and dragons took one look at Lin and didn't dare make a move, so Lin and the hammer-wielding girl strolled into the dungeon without a hitch. It was then Lin quickly learned that if they gathered 1,000 earth shards, they could combine it and get a full heart of the earth. And of course, thanks to the girl's collection skill, he was able to get double the rewards. So, off they went, farming monsters. Now let's continue where we left off. The skeletons grouped up all the monsters, and the girl obediently used her AoE collection skill. Afterward, the skeletons took down a few nearby monsters first, and then Lin raised his hand and triggered Corpse Explosion. Soon, an explosion could be heard, and the blast echoed across the entire dungeon. The deafening sound shook the ground beneath them, which startled the girl, who began to cover her ears. This round alone got our boy 94 earth shards, with another 94 from the collection bonus. Seeing the system notification, he couldn't help but admire just how essential her profession really was. Turning around, he then tells her that this was just the first wave, and that more were coming. She blinked in surprise, but seemed to get quite excited. Soon enough, another group of monsters was pulled in, and she couldn't help but wonder, is this really how Lin grinds monsters all the time? Lin, on the other hand, couldn't quite believe how someone with her personality had leveled up this far, but to be fair, other than her timid personality, she seemed to be handling the monster with ease. After another AoE collection and Corpse Explosion combo, she took a deep breath, already getting used to Lin's style of things. They kept moving. Lin led the way and planned to get a bit deeper, and the girl followed closely. As they walked, they started chatting more. Out of the blue, Lin asked her why she decided to put up a tombstone for him. She looked towards the ground, maybe a bit embarrassed, and softly explained that when Lin led the giant bird away, those huge explosions went off in the distance, and from afar they could feel the intense power, so all of them thought he hadn't made it. So as a result, they decided to honor him. Then she trailed off. Voice gradually got quieter and visibly more embarrassed. However, Lin found himself oddly at a loss for words, since she actually had a point. But again, Lin didn't really mind it in the first place, and he was just curious. Soon, they were back to farming monsters, and it didn't take long until another wave of monsters were lured in. Using the same tactics, Lin quickly collected 216 more earth shards. Soon enough, they hit the 1,000 mark. Lin pulled out all the shards and began fusing them. Soon enough, a heart of the earth appeared before him, with a system prompt, letting him know that this item was essential for becoming an Earth Knight. The girl also revealed that perhaps a new Earth Knight could emerge among the human race. But as she looked curiously at the heart of the earth in Lin's hand, she had a hunch. They hadn't seen any bosses, or even many elite monsters so far. Surely this wasn't the end of the dungeon. Lin agreed with her, and after a moment of thought, he suspected the heart of the earth might not be limited to a single fusion, so he decided to press on. As they reached the end of the canyon, a strong, hot gust blew toward them, and they found themselves standing at the edge of a cliff. Below, molten lava flowed like they'd stumbled into the core of the earth itself. Looking down, they could see streams of lava spreading across the ground below like lakes and rivers. The girl gazed around, looking quite amazed, while Lin prepared one of his skelly to scout the path ahead. One of the skelly had barely made it to the bottom when a massive vine shot out of the lava, snatching the poor skelly and pulling it in faster than Lin could react. A system message popped up right after, informing him the skeleton warrior had been destroyed. Seeing this, Lin sent more skeletons forward, only to see more vines emerge from the lava, dragging all nearby skeletons into the molten below. But soon enough, they spotted the actual monster, which was an enormous, rare, level 52 plant-type elite boss. It was a weird-looking flower with pretty high attributes and 3 skills, while also having immunity to fire elements. In the next second, some weird-looking creatures burst out of the lava. They looked like terrifying mutant fish, and a quick detection spell revealed they were level 50 earth fire fish. Lin reacted quickly, unleashing a bone spike that pierced through their bodies, each kill granting him 1,000,000 experiences and an earth shard. The girl thanked him, brushing her nose, feeling like she could handle those fish herself, but she just got a bit startled. But then, a swarm of vines whipped towards her. Luckily, the skeletal armor glowed, blocking the attacks, though she still looked a bit shaken. Meanwhile, the skeletons scooped up the fish bodies and hurled them at the massive earth flower. Following the corpse explosion, the girl reacted quickly and used her collection spell. Although the corpse explosion did some serious damage and the earth flower was clearly injured, it wasn't enough to finish it off. Out of nowhere, it started glowing and then activated its regeneration skill. Lin was a bit surprised, but at the same time, he is aware that most plant-type monsters tend to be harder to kill. If one corpse doesn't do the trick, why not just keep throwing fish corpses at it? With a series of explosions, the earth flower finally burst into pieces. A system notification popped up informing him that he had defeated the earth flower, earning 2.1 million experience, 500 earth shards, and an extra 500 from the collection skill. Lin was pleasantly surprised. A single elite boss had just given him enough for a full heart of the earth. Since these were quite important, or perhaps can even be called strategic supplies, obvious the more the better. Fast forward, they continued walking, and strangely, they didn't encounter any monsters up until here. Both of them found it odd. Usually, only areas close to a boss are empty. Soon enough, Lin looked around and spotted a massive creature lying not far from them. A quick detection spell revealed it was a level 55 ancient earth dragon with really high attributes, 3 skills, and 3 special traits, including a 70% reduction to physical and elemental damage and curse resistance. However, there was a note by its name marking it as a weakened, Lord-level boss. Alright, folks, that's a wrap for this chapter. Sadly, it's another one of those single-chapter weeks. But hey, maybe we get to see a new soul summon for a boy, or perhaps find out just how many Heart of the Earth our guy can rack up by the end of this dungeon. Guess we'll just have to wait until next week to find out. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you all in the next one.